Alright, let's dive into something that's been making waves in Melbourne's west, the Sunshine Rally demanding more police presence and tougher bail laws after the tragic death of Viet Truong. Now, before we get into the nitty-gritty, let me just say this: what happened to Mr. Truong is heartbreaking. A 60-year-old shopkeeper, allegedly bashed by a group of teenagers while trying to stop a theft, later dies in hospital. It's one of those stories that just stops you in your tracks. But here's what's really striking: this isn't just about one incident. It's about a community saying, enough is enough. Personally, I think what makes this story so powerful is the way it's brought people together. You've got the Vietnamese mothers in Australia community organizing a vigil, locals from all over Melbourne showing up to support Mr. Truong's family, and even politicians weighing in. But here's the thing: this isn't just a political issue. It's a human issue. One woman at the rally said it perfectly: we're in pain, we're hurt, we're scared. That's the raw emotion driving this movement. And it's not just about fear, it's about frustration. Frustration with a system that feels like it's failing them. Now, let's talk about the bail laws. A 15-year-old charged with manslaughter is in custody, but a 12-year-old and two 14-year-olds are out on bail. That's a detail that immediately stands out, right? In my opinion, this raises a deeper question: are our laws equipped to handle youth crime effectively? I mean, when you've got kids this young involved in such serious offenses, it's not just about punishment. It's about prevention, rehabilitation, and, frankly, keeping the community safe. What many people don't realize is that this isn't an isolated incident. Violent crime has been escalating in Sunshine, and locals are feeling it every day. From my perspective, the call for more police presence isn't just about having more officers on the beat. It's about visibility, deterrence, and a sense of security. The mayor, Virginia Tachos, hit the nail on the head when she said traitors are afraid to come to work. That's not how a community should feel. And while Victoria Police has increased patrols in the wake of Mr. Truong's death, the question is it enough? And more importantly, is it sustainable? What this really suggests is that there's a systemic issue here that needs addressing. One thing that immediately stands out is the comparison to Aiden Becker's case, where a man was fatally stabbed for trying to help someone. These aren't just random acts of violence, they're acts of bravery met with tragedy. Phuong Nguyen, from the Australian Vietnamese Refugee National Council, called Mr. Truong a quiet hero. And he's right. These are the people who step up when others might step back. But here's the kicker: should they have to? Should it be on everyday heroes to risk their lives because the system isn't doing enough? What makes this really interesting is the tension between tradition and activism. Phuong Nguyen mentioned that, according to Vietnamese customs, this isn't the right time for rallies during the mourning period. But the community felt compelled to act anyway. That's a powerful statement. It shows just how urgent the issue is. And it's not just about Sunshine. This is part of a bigger trend we're seeing globally: communities demanding accountability and safety in the face of rising crime. If you take a step back and think about it, this isn't just about more police or tougher laws. It's about a community's trust in the system. When people feel like they have to take matters into their own hands, whether it's organizing rallies or hiring private security, that's a red flag. The Sunshine Business Association Vice President, John Girardi, mentioned that some businesses are already bringing in their own security. That's not a solution, it's a band-aid. What we need are long-term strategies that address the root causes of crime, not just the symptoms. In my opinion, the Community Connector program that the mayor mentioned could be a step in the right direction. It's about outreach, support, and giving young people alternatives to crime. But here's the thing: it's not enough to just talk about it. The government needs to act. And not just in Sunshine, but in other areas facing similar challenges. This raises a deeper question: are we investing enough in prevention and community programs, or are we just reacting to crises? What this really suggests is that we need a balanced approach. Tougher laws, yes, but also more support for at-risk youth. More police presence, but also community-based solutions. It's not an either-or situation. And that's what makes this issue so complex, and so important. Because at the end of the day, it's about people's lives. It's about feeling safe in your own neighborhood. It's about not having to say goodbye to your family in the morning, wondering if you'll come home. So, here's my closing thought: this isn't just Sunshine's problem. It's a reflection of broader issues in society, issues of safety, justice, and community. And while the rally is a powerful start, it's just that, a start. The real work comes next. How do we turn this moment of grief and anger into lasting change? That's the question we all need to be asking. Because if we don't, we're just setting the stage for the next tragedy. And that's something none of us can afford.